Picture a world where a household cleaning product doubles as birth control, or where sipping on a soda promises to boost your intelligence. It might sound like the script of a bizarre comedy, but believe it or not, history is riddled with instances where food products and cleaning detergents were adorned with the most extraordinary medical claims. So, let's take a closer look at the captivating tales of old medicines and modern favorites, unearthing the quirky histories of products we've come to know and love. Let's consider the peculiar tale of Coca-Cola, concocted on that fateful day, March 29, 1886, by the inventive pharmacist John Stith Pemberton, hailing from Georgia. Brace yourself. This sugary delight was initially peddled as a nerve tonic. Imagine perusing the 19th century advertisements, boldly claiming that this effervescent beverage, spiked with a sprinkle of cocaine per glass, could do wonders. Need a mental boost? Check. Battling exhaustion? No problem. Dealing with emotions like hysteria and melancholy? Sip away. The backstory gets even more intriguing when you discover that Pemberton's motivation for brewing this unique concoction was to find an antidote for morphine addiction, an affliction shared by many veterans of the Civil War. That's right, what we now casually pick up from the supermarket to quench our thirst had its origins in a quest to overcome opiate addiction. So the next time you crack open a can of cola, remember that behind its bubbly exterior lies a history as effervescent and unexpected as its initial marketing claims. The eccentric medical histories of sodas don't end with Coca-Cola. Take 7-Up, for instance. Once marketed as a mood stabilizer under the name Bib Label Lithiated Lemon Lime Soda, try saying that a few times fast. Its secret ingredient? Lithium citrate, a compound used in the management of bipolar disorder. This peculiar trend extended to other carbonated beverages, offering an explanation for the soda fountains that became fixtures in local pharmacies. Now, let's turn our attention to Lysol, that super cleaning sidekick you've likely encountered while scrubbing down kitchen counters or sanitizing toilet seats. But it's given your hands a bit of a reddish glow, or maybe even sparked some skin irritation at times. Now, imagine taking that powerful potion and, hold your breath, using it in your most sensitive areas. Believe it or not, that's precisely what many women did before the 1960s when the U.S. finally gave the green light to birth control. Back in 2013, historian Andrea Tone dropped a bombshell, suggesting that the widely promoted feminine hygiene aspect of Lysol was just a clever cover-up for birth control. You heard it right. Lysol, the household cleaner, marketed for years as a nifty sperm assassin. And believe it or not, it probably did the job. The downside? This solution was as harsh on your lady bits as it was effective. According to Mother Jones, by 1911, doctors had documented at least 5 unfortunate cases of uterine irrigation leading to fatalities. Talk about a cleaning product with a serious dark past. Try to remember the last time you had a little tummy trouble. Did you go fetch the ketchup from your medicine cabinet? Well, that's what Dr. John Cook Bennett believed when he invented the condiment back in 1834. Billed as medicine for diarrhea, indigestion, jaundice, and scurvy, he even claimed it could mend broken bones. Instead of pouring it on food, he stuffed it into pills. Everyone was so hyped about the tomatoey cure-all that copycats started making their own versions. But, surprise! Most of the time, their versions contained no tomato and all laxatives. By the 1850s, people were onto the fact that ketchup pills didn't work, letting ketchup go back to what it does best, being a condiment, and making French fries delicious. And now, let's talk about Sylvester Graham, the OG dietary reformer, who wasn't exactly a fan of life's greatest indulgences. This guy had a serious distaste for alcohol and was an early cheerleader for the veggie-loving lifestyle in the good old US of A. But wait, it gets even more interesting. His whole belief system, dubbed Grahamism, hit its peak when he started singing praises for unsifted wheat flour. Why, you ask? Well, Graham had this theory that if you stuck to plain, boring foods, it would cool down the excitement levels in your body. That's right, less thrill, more purity of mind and flesh. And guess what became the poster child for this movement? Graham crackers, made from that whole wheat goodness. They weren't just a snack. They were marketed as the secret weapon for parents trying to keep their kids healthy. It was also a snack for teenagers to not chill and do some other playful stuff. I say no more. Moving forward to Fig Newtons. Back in 1891, when Fig Newtons first hit the scene, they weren't just a tasty treat, they were hailed as the ultimate digestive sidekick. Picture this, a daily dose of these fruity biscuits, and you were practically on your way to keeping the doctor at bay. Fast forward to today, and Fig Newtons are still strutting their stuff as a healthier snack option. I mean, just peek at the boxes. They proudly declare, with real fruit. But here's the kicker. Each cookie only packs 1 gram of fiber. Luckily, they're delicious, and you can't just have one and be done. Alright, let's dive into a bit of history that's probably more absorbent than you would expect. So, Kotex, yeah, the go-to name for menstrual pads nowadays, didn't start out in the world of periods. Back in 1914, this magical material called cellucotton was doing its thing on the war front. Imagine this, cellucotton, basically processed wood, was like the superhero of absorbency, soaking up 5 times more than cotton and costing only half as much. No wonder it became the darling of army docks during World War I, handling all kinds of messes. But here's where it gets interesting. Once the war was over, the Kimberly-Clark Paper Company, the brains behind cellucotton, decided to switch gears from bandages to something a bit more personal: sanitary napkins. At a time when most ladies were stuck with cloth rags, enter Kotex. It became a hit, and guess what? The appeal of Kotex continues to this day. Who would have thought a military medical staple would become a period legend? Life is full of surprises. Next on this list is malaria, a real nasty illness delivered by pesky mosquitoes. It brings on the whole shaking, fever, chill death combo. Not a fun time. Now, back in the day when the British Empire was off conquering the world, they were rightfully worried about malaria ruining their plans. Luckily, by the early 1800s, folks had a light bulb moment. Quinine could fend off this nasty infection. But here's the catch. Quinine, the hero here, tastes downright awful. So what did the Brits do? They got creative. They mixed quinine with soda and sugar, and voila! Tonic water was born. Now fast forward a bit, and the colonists got even more clever. They threw in a spoonful of sugar, mixed it up with gin and a splash of lime, and bam! Homemade medicine turned into Gatsby's favorite drink, the gin and tonic. Who knew fighting off malaria could taste so good? Last but not least, let me introduce you to John Harvey Kellogg, a doctor with a passion for promoting healthy living in the early days of the United States. Now, here's where it gets a bit peculiar. Kellogg was convinced that anything related to sex, including the solo act, was a one-way ticket to poor health. He even had this extensive list of symptoms for chronic self-pleasers. Kind of weird, right? But hold on, it gets even more interesting. His remedy for this, believe it or not, was a solid diet overhaul. And bam! Out-popped inventions like granola and cornflakes. Who wants to think of purity over breakfast? Now, while his cereals became breakfast favorites, his extreme methods for curbing certain activities thankfully didn't become the next big thing. So here's to granola and cornflakes for breakfast and a hard pass on the rest. There you have it. The strange, surprising, and sometimes downright unbelievable history of everyday products.